Hello sweets fans and welcome to Coming of Year's Gamecast. I'll be your host RMKG, and today's match features Marcus2389 playing as the Wehrmacht and WmDfc playing as the Americans. The map is our beloved Langa, and without further ado, let's jump right into the game. We are paused at the 5-second mark, and we will be unpausing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Marcus2389, of course, a long-time COH player and currently senior strategy specialist over at GameReplays.org. And unfortunately, my knowledge of WmDfc is far less than that of Marcus. So I won't be able to tell you that much about him. And his relic account record does not actually tell that much of a story either. So, with that being said, let's get ready for whatever this game has in store for us. Marcus is a little bit late there trying to build his Wehrmacht quarters because of some issues with the matchmaking system. That's what he says anyway. And we will be having that small delay for him, and hopefully it won't be that much of a trouble for his early game. On the other hand, our American player WmDfc opens up standardly with a rifle squad after his second engineer squad, and his capping order is nothing out of the ordinary as well. WmD, of course, is a clan. Weapons of mass destruction, I think. I'm not sure. I don't even know if the player FC is part of the clan, or he is using the identifier on his own volition or whatever. So that's what I know. MG first for Marcus, and the phone is ringing, so unfortunately I'll have to answer the phone. And that was the phone, so apparently I have not messed up everything that I was talking about, although I will need the time. So we're currently at the 2-minute, 18, 19, 20 second mark, and the MG has kind of a setup there facing the north of Langer. There are a couple of rifleman squads approaching from that direction, but no flanking maneuver in the works at the moment. Engineers, of course, are there as well. Nothing out of the ordinary for these early moments of the game. Wehrmacht player seems to be staying true to a build order that a lot of players use these days, albeit they actually try to get the motorcycle first, secondly after the MG42 rather than the Volks, but that is of course a matter of preference here. Motorcycle doing a good job there, suppressing one of the in conjunction with the MG42, suppressing one of the rifleman squads. I've been thrown off by the phone call, apparently. That's quite obvious, but I will be recovering soon. There's no news that should worry me anyway. I'm just out of my train of thought and whatever I was trying to accomplish. In any case, motorcycle, MG and Volks combo once again trying to take on one of those rifleman squads that will most probably jump into the house, as they do, to shield themselves from the suppressive fire of the MG42s. However, engineers equipped with flamers come from the east, and that MG42 is in a dire situation. However, our American player seems to not be paying attention to one of his other rifleman squads flanking from the west, and therefore is forced to retreat there. Kind of a rather hasty retreat of both the pioneers and the Volks there under the fire of the engineers in the house. I'm not so sure if that was actually really that necessary. especially considering the fact that our Wehrmacht player actually moved his one-man MG42 team out of the house and took that risk of losing the MG42 to the Flamers in the previous engagement. However, he did manage to kill a rifleman squad, and a prompt repositioning of the MG42 forces another rifleman squad to retreat. Engineers still in the house there, kind of wasting a unit there. The American player is, by not employing them into those engineers in the battle. And yeah, well, I would like to have seen the American player be a little bit more coordinated and aggressive with his forces right there, because he's actually giving a lot of space to the Wehrmacht player right now. I mean, this portion of the map that the Wehrmacht player has is pretty good for his faction. The resource income is sufficient for a Wehrmacht player to be able to take up and get whatever unit he desires. And I'm not so certain what the American player has in mind, apart from the fact that he's building his supply yard at the moment, so he won't be going for any heavy rifleman upgrade play. Snipers out for the Wehrmacht player as well, taking pushes on those riflemen, which is always, of course, a good thing. However, those folks there stand no chance against the riflemen and the engineers equipped with flamers, therefore they will be having to retreat. 3 rifleman squads, of course, on the field after the one was previously lost to the MG42 fire, and maybe another one is gonna go down right here under the fire of the MG42, the bike, and the sniper. Bike seems to be trying to pursue that particular rifleman, but it will abandon its cause, and therefore those riflemen will be safe. However, very, very heavy losses on that on those riflemen of the American player. Not only the squad that he lost, but also the members that are going down during these last engagements. Something that is not boding well for his manpower income at the moment. So, with his mother pool going up, he is most probably investing in some form of a heavy light armor play. Since we are currently at the 7-minute, 10, 11, 12, 13 second mark, and that mate coming out will effectively have no counter on the field at the moment, except for the Panzerfausts, of course, coming out of the Volk squad. Volk squad that are 2 in number, and once again, American player kind of falls in the trap of the early scouting of the motorcycle, and which is backed up by the suppressive fire of the MG42, and of course the pushes of the sniper. Therefore, once again, kind of a waste of an advance there by the riflemen of the American player. However, in the west, 2 squads of engineers, one with flamers, manages to force off a squad of folks, and that pioneer squad may actually go down there as well while trying to lay down wire, and that is, of course, the case. Ample opportunity for harassment for the American player in the west portion of the map, while he tries to make up his mind on what he is going to be doing with his 3 rifleman squads that are now going into a flanking maneuver, trying to take on the Wehrmacht position near the center of the map. There's just a sniper there, the MG42 and the Volks. Surely not enough to deal with 3 rifleman squads, provided, of course, that the flank is properly set up and executed. And this seems to be the case, unless this motorcycle changes things around. However, I do not see that happening. Sniper seems to be getting focused fire, not exactly sniper, just using a medkit, jumping into the house, and heavy losses on those 2 rifleman squads. One of them may even go down. The motorcycle still alive. The sniper equally in good health after the use of that medkit, and the Wehrmacht player will hold his position, will cause massive infantry losses on the American player, and at the same time he had the clarity of mind to put up his creek barracks and get out a pack, which is of course necessary to deal with the oncoming threat of the fast M8 by the American player. Wehrmacht player, of course, kind of actually played it safe here, but it was certainly a choice that was supported by the fact that he did not see any kind of rifleman upgrades up to this long into the game, and therefore the pack is justified. And should it pay off, it will not only be justified, it will be able to turn things around and further reinforce the advantage that the Wehrmacht player has up to this moment into the game. Rifleman squad back to full health, and members, 2 of them actually, and not actually full health, just members, because our American player does not have a tri-center. Therefore, these rifleman squads will have to pay attention, a lot of attention. However, the M8 is still, of course, a threat for the Wehrmacht player. A single pack won't be able to deal with it unless the M8 hits a mine. And there are a couple of mines. There's one by the stone house to the west, near the high munition point, but I don't see the M8 going that way. Now the riflemen charge into the Wehrmacht position. There's a off-map artillery coming down to the position of the MG42 and a nearby half-track. However, the prompt retreat by the Wehrmacht player of both his sniper and his MG42 saved the day. However, some faults may bite the dust here. The pack is still around, has been repositioned and faces the west, the direction from which the M8 comes. However, the M8 backs up and will be safe for the time being. Some engineers hitting a mine, and all that trivialities that happen in war. And one of those trivialities is, once again, the continuous necessity of reinforcing your riflemen, who, by the way, are not going to be as effective as the game goes on, unless they get some upgrades, and they get them rather soon. No med bunker out by our Wehrmacht players, something which is kind of unusual, and surely it's kind of a risky move. Not having a med bunker means that you need to be much more careful on how you handle your infantry squads and on the losses that you actually are willing to take on them, and how long you are supposed to be staying in the fights. In the west, M8 is in grave danger of going down to those punch-equipped grenadiers. However, in the east, riflemen charge once again, all gathered in one small pack against the pack, but the pack is actually cloaked, is being reinforced by the half-track. The half-track that's actually able to suppress all those 3 rifleman squads, and with no stickies being around, this half-track is going to be making the day difficult for those riflemen as the game goes on. Sniper, of course, having made his way from the west to the east, and all 3 rifleman squads retreating. That's weird. I mean, it's weird in the first place to bunch up your riflemen and move them all in such a small area. I don't know what exactly the American player is thinking. He's, of course, keeping his M8 alive, a mate that is at veterans level 1 with 7 infantry kills. He actually got his BR upgrade for the rifleman. But apart from that, I do not see something that will make it easier for him to move into the mid-game and, of course, the late game with an advantage. He has actually lost much of the map to the Wehrmacht player, and that is, of course, is a direct result of him not spreading out his riflemen, because they not only get suppressed far easier by MGs or half-tracks, but they also lose their ability to cap the map wherever they go because of their increased capping speed. So I don't know exactly what is going on into the mind of the American player. His taking seems to be stale at the moment. He just added a tri-center back into his base. He does not seem to have stickies, but he did manage to kill the Wehrmacht sniper and actually used one sticky on the half-track. Another sticky most probably will take it out, or at least cause severe damage to it, and let's see if it will go down, and it won't. However, Pioneer Squad does go down, and now the American player should have visibility of the Panzer Command going up for the Wehrmacht player, a half-track actually going down to the rifleman BAR fire, and now that was kind of a good push, I would say, for the American player, despite the fact that he bunched up his rifleman once again, and he actually did not gain any map control except for a point in the west that he actually managed to cap with one of his engineers, I think. He did manage to get the sniper in the half-track, and he did see the Panzer Command going up for the Wehrmacht player, so he will have to have an answer to that Panzer Command, whether whatever comes out of the Panzer Command being a flak Panzer or just a Panzer IV, he does need some form of AT, and stickies won't cut it. Stickies alone, that is. He does of course have his motor pull-up, so that means that he will be able to get out some AT guns, and that should be probably his taking of choice at the moment, since I think that investing in a tank depot at the moment without having that much of map control for the last 5 minutes of the game is not the best choice for him. 3 rifleman squads of course still alive. Actually 4. There was one replenished by the American player, so he's back at his initial count of rifleman squads. That of course will help him against the Wehrmacht infantry and the support weapon teams. However, it won't help him at all against whatever comes out of the Panzer Command, and that is a Panzer IV. Faults going down near the center of the map to those concentrated fire of the riflemen, and at the moment I'm not sure why exactly American player is not trying to set up a flank as he did in the early portions of the game. He's most probably afraid of something. He's most probably afraid of that Panzer Command that he saw earlier. He does have an AT gun produced, but it is back in his base. Does not seem to be utilizing his forces the best way possible. An idle squad of riflemen to the west, for example, is an indication of what is going on in the game at the moment. However, some engineers actually try to make a push. The flame engineers, the flamethrower equipped engineers get foxfired and are retreating, while the minesweeper equipped ones are getting demolished by Goliath. Not the best use of a Goliath that I have ever seen. However, it's a squad of infantry of the American player, and that is all that matters. Panzer IV kind of boldly charging into the center of the map. The AT gun just making its way, the American AT gun just making its way there, so that Panzer IV will have some air to breathe for the moment being. However, first shot takes a large portion of its health out, so I'm not certain if that Panzer IV is gonna make it. However, the road advantage, the road speed advantage may actually prove sufficient for it. And we do have our first squad of Rangers on the field. Of course, the American player had gone for that infantry company. We saw it earlier with the use of the off-map howitzer suit, and now he complements his infantry forces with those Rangers. The answer out of the Wehrmacht side is a squad of Knights Cross holders, who are of course quite effective against those Rangers, especially if the Rangers are not equipped with their SMGs. And they will be quite effective against those riflemen as well, provided the riflemen are suppressed, but they are not suppressed. The MG42 get focused fire down. However, those riflemen take some heavy hits from the Panzer IV, and with the help of the Knights Cross holder, the American push is once again thwarted. The Panzer IV of course survived the AT gun, the American AT gun shots in the previous game is the center of the map, and now the American AT gun may even go down to those KCH. However, the M8 comes to save the day, or at least try to delay the demise of the American AT gun. nearby flamers, and those knights crossholders may even go down, but they won't. Yeah, well, kind of a sporadic use there of the Knight's Crossholder to try to get what exactly, I'm not so sure. That 80 gun, even if it had gone down, it would have been recruited by remand, whatever is the word, by those riflemen, so not exactly certain what was going on there. Rangers still on the field, capping instead of trying to take some shots or hand down for the Panzer IV, which is being repaired now. And another squad of Knights Crossholder with no KCH, with no KKC Kampfwaffen, right? For the Wehrmacht player around, that is actually quite weird. A couple of Browning automatic rifles lying around in the west portion of the map, probably belonging to a squad of riflemen that went down to the Wehrmacht forces earlier, which I must have missed, because as I said, or did I say it or didn't I say it? Well, I should apologize in advance for my rustiness as far as my shoutcasting skills are concerned. So there you go. I apologize in advance in the middle of the game. So, well, at least it's the gesture, right, that matters. Or is that the saying or anything? I'm not too sure anymore. Bunching up your infantry forces never gonna end well, especially if there are Goliaths on the field. However, there are no German, or rather Wehrmacht Goliaths on the field. Those riflemen and rangers will happily stay there for the rest of the game. Note exactly, they are moving to the north. They're engaging the Knights Crossholders, and what is going to be the outcome of the battle? Well, I'm guessing the riflemen will win. And I guessed correctly. Maybe... nah. Those KCHs surely do take a lot of hits before they go down. However, that is no excuse for them to be charging into so many American forces like that. However, the firestorm comes down on the position of the Rangers, and the riflemen forces a full retreat of them on them, while causing a lot of casualties. And now there's another Panzer IV on the field. A rather unusual play by a Wehrmacht player, not opting to go for the more versatile, much more effective, I would say. Well, it took some tweaks on its gun, the Flak Panzer, that is, the Ostwind. However, it is still effective against infantry, but our Wehrmacht player rather chooses the sturdier and the sturdier Panzer IV that can actually do quite a bit of damage on infantry as well, but not as frequently as an Ostwind.
We have 300 points left.
In any case, once again, American player seems to be sticking with his I select my units and I send them all together to where I want to go, and that, in this case, that is the west portion of the map. Wehrmacht responds with a couple of KCH squads, Grenadiers in a house, and a Panzer IV just behind it, with another one Panzer IV coming to reinforce it. American Wehrmacht players still holding a large portion of the map, actually half of it, I would say, at this moment in the game. VPs, of course, are in favor of the American player, but that does not actually or necessarily mean that the game will go in his favor as well. Doctrine of choice for our Wehrmacht player is terror, as we have seen earlier, through the firestorm and the use of inspired assault, and most probably our Wehrmacht player will be waiting and eventually investing in a KT in the late game, and a KT only having to deal with rifleman squads and a couple of rangers is surely something that you do not want to face as an American player. In his attempt right now, the American player is trying to sticky one of the Panzer IVs to death, and maybe he is able to do so, and that is the case. One of the Panzer IV is down. However, American player taking significant infantry losses in the process. A Goliath making its way towards the retreat path of one of the American infantry squads. However, Wehrmacht player will change his mind, drive the Goliath around. I'm not sure where it's actually going, and it will destroy actually kill the crew of the American AT gun, bring the gun down to a very, very low health, and the Panzer Grenadiers, which are of course just Grenadiers because this is not the Panzer Elite, this is the Wehrmacht, actually close in on the position of the AT gun and destroy it with their Panzerschreck. So one AT gun down for the American player, one more to go, and however, only one Panzer IV standing between the AT gun and the central victory point, which is in the hands of the American player for a lot of time. Around 150 points of VPs is that particular difference. MG42 trying to fend off the attack of the American player, using a medkit in the process, as well as propaganda war on those infantry forces of the American player. Therefore, the MG42 will leave to see another day. However, I'm not so sure if those engineers will leave. Engineers at level 1 having to face KC-8s at level 1 as well, of veterancy that is. And if this American AT gun goes down, then things may turn around for our Wehrmacht there, as far as his ease of pushing with his tanks is concerned, since the Panzer IV will be kind of able to close in on the American position much easier without an AT gun lying around. However, a lot of riflemen nearby, most probably that AT gun will be recruited, and that Panzer IV better get out of the way. Veterancy, of course, starting to kick in for the Wehrmacht player. The camouflage center is up and running for a significant amount of time at the moment, and there is the eventual Ostwind flak panzer on the field, which of course will be invaluable in the attempt of our Wehrmacht player to deal with the oncoming hordes of the American player. Some minor harassment by Wehrmacht player in the west is being fended off by those riflemen, and once again, thus these massive American infantry pushes do not seem to be getting the work done, or the job done. I think it's the job done. In any case, once again, the Panzer IV gets a sticky. Rangers trying to do exactly what, I'm not so sure. They die, and those riflemen may die as well, and that is the case, and these are heavy losses for our American player. His infantry force has been demolished. He only has single AT gun at the moment, 3 squads of riflemen and an M8 at veterans level 2. However, all those are still not going to cut the deal as far as the tier 4 of the Wehrmacht player is concerned, which has kicked in and is fully operational for the last minutes of the game, and with the veterancy coming in as well, I am pretty certain that at the moment that the American player will have a very difficult, if not impossible, job as far as him winning the game is concerned. Another firestorm on the position of a single American AT gun does not seem to be doing anything at the moment. Riflemen in the west once again bunched up, fend off a squad of Grenadiers. That's a minor win, however, for the American player. His biggest concern is, of course, that veterancy that starts to kick in for the Wehrmacht player, as well as his tanks that are now able to freely roam the field, since that American AT gun, the single American AT gun, actually got decrewed by those KC-8s a little bit earlier. Ostwind seems to be hunting for the M8, and most probably will get the deal done. However, Wehrmacht player actually feeling a bit scared of the Ostwind, gets surrounded by riflemen getting sticky, actually pulls out of the American player's base, and there's another 80 gun out for the American player, as well as another one lying around. Those 80 guns should be recruited the soonest possible, since the Wehrmacht tanks will only get stronger as the time goes by. At this moment, of course, the Wehrmacht player, having established his advantage on the field and with his veterancy kicking in, starts to focus on the victory points, which was something that he had to do eventually. He has firm control of at least half of the map, and now he will be getting the central victory point under his control. The MG42 team is still around for that suppressive fire. He does have his AT in the form of a pack as well as tanks laying around. There's no sign out of the American player of a tank depot having been built, so therefore there's only a single light armored vehicle, the M8, that may be a threat to the Wehrmacht infantry forces. However, the Wehrmacht player at this moment will be able to produce as many tanks as his fuel permits, and that will be quite enough, provided of course he keeps control of this particular portion of the map that he holds at the moment. A couple of 80 guns, of course, are holding the fort as far as the American player's base is concerned, but at the moment the Wehrmacht player does not have any intention of marching into the American player's base, except of course for that squad of KCH that actually managed to decrew once again an American AT gun. However, they may pay for that with their life, and that will be the case. Veterancy level 3 for one of the rifleman squads, having 9 infantry kills, 2 light vehicle kills, and 1 heavy tank kill. Another squad of KC8s may actually go down to the north. Kind of a sloppy move there by our Wehrmacht player. Seems to be focused in the west, where he sent his Panzer IV to deal with the M8 and some riflemen. And did those KC8s go down? No, they did not. However, once again, the decrewed American AT gun is now getting recruited. The other one is facing in a direction, trying to take some shots on the Ostwind. Does not seem to be making any progress as far as that is concerned. And at this moment, there are not many things that the American player can actually do to revert the course of this game. With the Americans, you cannot turtle as much as you could with the Wehrmacht, that's for sure. And seeing that his modus operandi, I would say, of his infantry attacks has not changed, because he continues to use them in big bulks of infantry bolts and trying to attack the the Wehrmacht position. I'm highly doubtful as far as his ability to come out victorious in this game is concerned. However, let's stick around and see how this game is going to progress. M8 still around, advanced level 2. As I said earlier, a couple of riflemen with high levels of veterancy, one at level 3, one at level 2. However, they are not used to the best of their ability, and the best of their ability is, of course, spreading out and flanking. Even if the American player, the Wehrmacht player, just has a single MG42 team, flanking and spreading out with your riflemen will not only prevent you from getting suppressed, but will also give you the opportunity to surround a tank, for example, get out, manage to pull off much more sticky bombs on it, or whatever the case is in any situation. Of course, there are disadvantages as well, that they may be getting focused down one by one and you have to eventually retreat and your flank not work, but if you weigh them, in the end you will see that flanking wins games. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure anymore. Veterans level 3 kicking in for the Wehrmacht infantry as well. Now is the time that things are gonna get really tough for the Wehrmacht, for the American player. Ostwind once again fending off that M8. in this portion of the map, a squad of infantry of the Wehrmacht player going down to those riflemen. I am pretty confident, or rather pretty sure at this moment, that the Wehrmacht player does realize that he does have a significant advantage. There is, of course, an M10 tank destroyer on the field. Will be able to take out that that Panzer IV. That tank destroyer and that M8, of course, came in with an off-map combat group, along with a squad of riflemen and an AT gun. So there you go. That's a good addition to the American forces. However, there is the inevitable KT on the field. There's also a firestorm on the position of the M8 and the M10, as well as the AT gun and the rifleman, and the American player was not paying attention. Therefore, he did lose his M10. He took significant losses on one of his rifleman squads and actually got his AT gun decrewed. So that's a rather unfortunate turn of events for an American player who actually had invested a lot on that off-map combat group coming in and helping save the day, at least before the KT hit the field. I'm pretty sure the American player has seen that there is a KT on the field, and if he hasn't seen, he has probably heard it by now. And his response to that, I suppose, will be once again trying to stick it with riflemen and try to kill it with the help of his AT guns. However, with a P4 lying around, Vet 3, Wehrmacht infantry, and KCH holders, 2 squads of them that is, you never know. However, one of the squads of KCH will be going down to that horde of riflemen there. Lots of riflemen with lots of veterancy. However, KT shot taking out 4 riflemen there. Riflemen also in grave danger of hitting a mine, a Wehrmacht mine, but will be making out of there safe as it seems, and will be gunning down some Wehrmacht infantry in the process. KT moving forward once again. One of the American 18 guns was neutralized but is back in action since riflemen recruited. M8's going down, propaganda war being used to avoid getting sticked on his tanks, the Wehrmacht player that is. And that AT gun has a long way home, and there's a KT as well as a Panzer IV hunting down for it, and I would say its days are numbered. Actually, its seconds are numbered, because it did go down just now. So there you go. Rifleman squads, M8s and destroyed AT guns is all the American player has left. And I would say that this game will be ending soon. The American player should be conceding the match anytime now, or at least when he realizes that he is not able to bring down that KT, provided of course the Wehrmacht player is actually kiting properly and keeping the AT gun, the KT, I mean, out of danger. Of course the American player could be investing in some more off-map combat groups, hoping to get some M10s or some more AT guns to help his cause. He does still have the victory point lead, so there's no need for him to leave the game at the moment. However, I said what I said earlier, given the army status of each player. I would say that for the Wehrmacht player at this moment, what he just needs to do is hold the front with his KT and his Panzer IV, kiting as he sees fit, and capturing the remaining VPs with his sturdy KCHs, while fending off those riflemen with his tanks and repairing as much as he can. There was enough map artillery shoot on the repair bunker, which did not actually bring down the building, so there's an added amount of repair from that. And as long as the KT is getting repaired, it's really a tough nut to crack. 17 infantry kills for the KT, 2 light vehicle kills and 2 heavy tank kills, which is rather very good score for a KT. Some engineers trying to sneakily cap the southmost victory point actually face some vet-free faults with a BAR and are therefore forced to retreat. 5 squads of riflemen charging in once again. No suppressive fire this time, no MG42 for the Wehrmacht player. However, there are a lot of tanks there, the KC-8s, there's always the propaganda war, and there's a significant amount of munition income for our Wehrmacht player, having this much control of a map at this point of the game, that he is able to replenish that use of a propaganda war within 2 minutes. So it's pretty good, I would say, the situation for him. He gains even more map control at this moment into the game, and the American player, if I were to guess, I would say he will be still trying to push his way to actually force his way through with his infantry squads. However, in the process of doing so, he has lost almost a whole map. He actually used once again an off-map combat group, and this is a terrible off-map combat group. He's actually got 180 gun, which may be of use, a rifleman squad, and 2 HMG teams, which is a ridiculous set of units to get at this stage in the game, because you actually don't need them at all, especially the HMG teams. They will be able to hold down some positions, maybe. However, the tanks will close in and they will demolish them whenever they get the chance, as they do actually right now. The 2 Panzer IVs are pounding the position of the HMG teams and those squads of riflemen. The squad of KC-8s goes down after they tried to assault grenade an 80 gun, and there's the horde of riflemen moving in towards the position of the Wehrmacht tanks once again, this time from the west. I do not see them having used any stickies yet. There are 3 Panzer IVs there, there's the KT, the Panzer IVs are at veterans level 3. They are going to demolish those riflemen. One of the squads actually goes down, and this is if this is not the nail in the coffin for the American player, I do not really know what is. The Wehrmacht player did not actually falter in his kiting with his tanks. He did falter sometimes in his attempts to push through the American infantry with his own infantry. However, this is inconsequential at the moment. I don't think I pronounced that properly. However, the game seems to have come to an end. There are GGs being exchanged, and for the last moments of the game, there's an off-map howitzer shoot. Or is this propaganda war? No, it is off-map howitzer shoot coming down the position of the Wehrmacht tanks. Nothing is gonna come out of it. Victory points will of course go down, and let's talk about what happened here. And what happened is that, in my opinion, American player did not actually make the best use out of his fast M8. He did lose a couple of rifleman squads that were essential at the moment that he lost them, because it was still the early to mid game, and therefore they were quite crucial to him to stay alive and support his strategy. And after that, I think he kind of panicked. He kind of saw no way out of it, and he just bunched up the remaining of his infantry and tried to take on the Wehrmacht position. When that didn't work, he fell back to using AT guns to fend off the tanks, the Wehrmacht tanks, but the Wehrmacht player did not actually have to push through at that moment. He had a solid advantage. He waited for his veterans to kick in, and after that happened, it was pretty much a matter of time, provided he did not lose a large amount of his tanks that he didn't, and therefore the game came out in the end in his favor. So I hope you enjoyed the game and the cast, and since this is a period of holidays, I would wish you happy holidays as well. Harman KG out.